Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except next week. We will not be recording live. We might have a pre-recorded show, and I will not know that until next week. So you'll just have to keep an eye out, and if we do end up doing one, I'll try and schedule it as early in the day as possible so that you can see what's going on. Just be aware, no live show next week. Of course, no Thursday show next week either. Because I will be at camp. And I do believe, though, the supporters are going to have a hangout without me. You can have a look over on the Matrix server. Reach out to Ivan on Matrix if you want to jump in on that. I don't know. If I am free, I might make a brief appearance as well, but I don't know. So with that, let's go ahead and dive on in. We have a very odd show today. Everything was taken up in political stuff and in CrowdStrike, and I tried not to have as much of any of that. Of course, we're starting with some CrowdStrike. We're going to be ending with some Sillyville CrowdStrike as well, but I just left all of the other political nonsense out so that we can just focus on the hilarity of the digital world around us. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. So hackers are already targeting users with fake CrowdStrike fixes. And here's what we've seen so far. Of course, some of the CrowdStrike fixes required you to download USB software, boot into that system, and then enter your BitLocker recovery keys. There was also a build that allowed you to do it without entering the BitLocker recovery keys as well. So there are a few different options in there, no matter what you're looking at. In this case, what they are doing is they are having you install a system and boot into something that is going to run some RAT. Let's see, Remcos, BBVA. Bank customers are susceptible to this particular one. And so effectively they're running phishing malware on the system, so that you can, they can get in there and, steal your stuff. And, technically it will fix the system. However, it, will install malware as it does so. So just be aware of that. Get your official fix for that either directly from CrowdStrike or directly from Microsoft. Do not get it from any other place. All right, and of course, Hamster Kombat. Never heard of this nonsense because I'm apparently an old boomer. But apparently there is a Telegram game called the Hamster Kombat where you can jump on over there and then you have to ping it off of a Telegram server to beat the tar out of your phone to play some hamster game. Okay, we have reached well beyond decadence into idiocracy, and now we are just on the impending cliff waiting to fall to our doom. But with that being said, now people are creating fake versions of Hamster Kombat and affecting people with malware, adware, and info stealers, experts have warned. So ESET claims to have observed activity against both Android and Windows users. The game boasting more than 250 million active participants. Hamster Kombat, I can't believe I'm putting those two words in a sentence, is a mobile game that launched in March of 2024, built within the instant messaging platform Telegram. If you're looking for a reason to not use Telegram, this might be it, which is also the only place where people can play it. To run Hamster Kombat, the player needs to open the right Telegram bot channel and activate it. In the game, the player is tasked with simple things such as tapping on the screen incessantly. This rewards them with virtual money, which should at some point translate into the hamster cryptocurrency. So we are now officially idiocracy. So now, since it's relatively new and only available on Telegram, cyber criminals saw it as an opportunity to start delivering fake games to unsuspecting victims and earn some money. Once again, ESET said it saw multiple such examples, including one where the fake Android game called Hamster Easy is being distributed online. The application does not contain any legitimate functionality, instead just drops the Ratel Android spyware, which subscribes the victim to premium services and steals all their money. Serves you right for trying to combat with hamsters. When I first saw this, I was reminded of a police breakdown video the other day of a furry who broke into a Petco, I think, let a bunch of dogs out and stuffed hamsters down his pants. So, yikes. We're becoming a weird world. All right, with that, let's have a look over at business news. next. So Microsoft has come out and said that whole CrowdStrike issue, it was not a huge deal. It just took out 8.5 million systems. Never mind that it was the 8.5 million systems that were actually running the world. I was talking to a friend of mine who's an agent at Allstate. He said as of a Monday, Allstate was still shut down from it. And so they had to be doing a lot of their work by hand. And so effectively, Microsoft is coming out kind of gaslighting people. This wasn't all that bad. It's just 8.5 million systems. Yeah, it's just the systems running all of the critical business infrastructure. So, whatever, right? Whatever. All right. So, yeah, CrowdStrike was pretty big. Of course, we're going to get to what their solution was here, what their apology was in Sillyville. Google admits that it cannot quite quit the third-party cookies yet. For more than a year, Google has said it would phase out third-party tracking cookies that power much of the advertising business online, proposing new ideas that would allegedly preserve user privacy. So the idea here is that cookies can be used to track you around the internet, but there's still too many issues with going with a cookieless internet, particularly since they're going to come across issues where the multiple advertising networks. So Google is one big one. Facebook is one big one. There's a few like Netflix is launching up some, and then there's a few other minor ones. If Google gets rid of third-party cookies, they are subjecting themselves to issues relating to the fact that they now hold a monopoly over the data tracking inside of individual websites. Of course, this works by you being logged into your Google account on Chrome, which they automatically do anytime you log into a Google service, and they keep you logged in. Now they can track you with a lot more data, and it's a lot harder to delete. So they've been trying to do the Google sandbox, privacy sandbox, but the problem is that there's too many other issues with other advertisers that are looking at this going, yeah, but what are we going to do? And so right now, cookies are still a major part in tracking individual systems and whatnot. So they mentions here they started with the experimentation of Flock, which is a federated learning of cohorts. We mentioned that is kind of similar to what Mozilla was trying to do with their collecting data and sending it back to advertisers the other day. And so Google is back with a new privacy sandbox. It proposes an updated approach that elevates user choice. Instead of depreciating third-party cookies, we would introduce a new experience in Chrome that lets people make an informed choice that applies across their web browsing, and they'd be able to adjust that choice at any time. And so, of course, is there an option to say, I don't want to see ads ever? I don't want you to track me at all? No, of course, we can't do that, but And then, of course, we have the Redbox explosion. So Redbox collapses. Thousands of employees, 1,000 employees rather, have not been paid. And the judge basically, it was chicken soup for the soul entertainment, purchased Redbox, and they just didn't have a way to make it profitable. They started with a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is just a restructuring. That was moved down to a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is a business dissolution. And so when this happened, it caused a giant shockwave of stuff. You might have seen the Louis Rossmann video where some people had thousands and thousands of movies that they have actually purchased through their Redbox account, and all of those are completely disappearing now. So people who have spent thousands of dollars on movies will not be able to watch any of their movies. This is a reason why I teach what I teach. You should buy physical copies. We should petition governments to allow us to actually do a format shift. We should have ways where if we purchase something, we own that thing. Nobody can come by and take it away. They also had 1,000 employees have not been paid. And of course, they have all those Redbox machines that they are just kind of, I think they've picked them all up at this point in time. And this caused a controversy because several people had movies out. They pick all these things up, and now the machines are gone. People can't return their movies, and now they're getting pinged with late fees, even though they attempted to return their movies, but the machines one day disappeared. So this is just a giant fiasco of nonsense. And the fact of the matter is, though, they're not going the way the bankruptcy is going to work. They're going to try and collect on the people who are late, even though they made every effort to get the movies back to the machine, but they won't actually be able to pay out any of their debtors. So there you have it. And then, of course, all those employees who have worked and will not be paid. That's exciting as well. Isn't that wonderful? All right, if you want to help support the channel, we do have affiliates. Today we are highlighting A2 Hosting. If you need a website and a place to host it, you can go ahead and use my affiliate, tlm.li/A2H. That is going to get you a really good smoking hot deal for a variety of different options. They have their shared hosting, WordPress hosting, which I'm not a huge fan of. We have VPS hosting, dedicated hosting. And of course, if you need somebody to build a website, you can reach out to me. That is something that I do as well. But you can actually jump on over here and you can sign up for getting a discount up to 36 months down to $195 per month, locking it in for several months before it will go up to its usual rate, which I think the shared starts at maybe $12 a month, I think, which is still pretty good rate. This is indeed a pretty good company. I've used them several times. Several of my clients are still using them as well. So that is good to know. With that, let's have a look over at your favorite place and mine. Let's have a look at Sillyville. So, of course, selfies are related to technology. So Florida would like to warn citizens not to take selfies with the depressed black bear who hangs out on the side of the road in Highway 98. So, guys, if you see the depressed bear hanging out over there, don't take a selfie with the bear. If you do, please feel free to post it. That would be kind of funny. But no, you got to give bears their space. You got to make sure that they're not intimidated because, yeah, they will tear the roof off of a car. You got to be aware of that. It's not like, oh, I can just roll up my windows. No, the bear will get into your vehicle. And so there have been numerous people who have stopped to take a picture with the bear, and the highway patrol down there in Florida is saying, please don't take a selfie with the depressed bear. I mean, come on. If he has bipolar disorder, I mean, he might turn around and get you. All right, so the pilot on SpaceX's Civilian Inspiration 4 decided to have a look over at Tripadvisor and leave a review on his trip to space. So, of course, you can read through all this yourself. All of our articles are linked in the description of the video. I'm not going to read them all, but there were a few notable mentions down here. So here, of course, any flat earthers out there, we actually have, civilian pictures and selfies with a round earth. So there you have it. He said location is 5 out of 5. The atmosphere was out of this world. 585 kilometers above the Earth's surface, higher than the International Space Station. So we could see a large section of the planet surrounded by the darkness of space. There you go. Food was 5 out of 5. They actually accommodated their vegan and gluten-free foods. So that was pretty good. Fitness program sounds amazing, though. Weightlessness counts as losing weight, right? There you go. But, and this is a big but, there's a category missing in his review: cost. This is between $100 and $200 million. Of course, it was paid for by a charitable billionaire who did it to raise money for St. Jude's Hospital. So there you have it. But for those of us, you can just join the Griswolds on their trip across the country instead. All right, well, CrowdStrike, they said, we want to thank all of our customers for sticking with us through this outage. We're going to offer you $10 Uber Eats vouchers. What can you get for a $10 Uber Eats voucher? Isn't it like the delivery fee more than $10? Like, yeah, maybe like a full meal from Uber Eats or something. I mean, that would be better. I mean, the IT guys who are still sitting there, haven't slept in 4 days, at least get them a free food delivery to them. But all of the gift cards that they hand out were blocked as fraudulent. So, oops. So here's $10 for a system that charges you at least $30 to get something delivered to eat. And but the $10 cards were all they were flagged as fraudulent. So there you have it. It was a nice try, CrowdStrike, but apparently your Uber Eats vouchers have the same general appeal as do the your software itself. And on to our final story. This one makes perfect sense. The raccoons mistake a Cybertruck for a trash can, of course, because it looks like a giant trash can on wheels. It looks like some dumpster that's driving itself to the dump. I mean, come on. So these guys went camping in their Cybertruck, and as they went out and did that, the raccoons jumped up there and smelled goodies in there and tried their dandiest to get in there. And you can see that they actually broke a lot of the lip. I'm guessing this is probably like a waterproof ceiling, or maybe. So this is, I believe this is the cover on the back of the truck. So there's like a retractable cover over the pickup truck portion. I believe that's what it is. So yeah, the raccoons get in there and they mistake the Cybertruck for the garbage, and that's what they did. So isn't that absolutely wonderful that the raccoons know what's up with the Cybertruck themselves? Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page. Join us over there, patreon.com/TOMM. We do our short stories over there, which will resume in September. And, of course, we have our Thursday night hangouts. Even if we don't have a Thursday night show, which you can participate in, we usually have a hangout even if we can't do the show. Next week, of course, no hangout, as I will not be in internet range most likely, but we will have to see. With that, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.